So today I'm going to show you how to use the segment overlap report in GA4 to build some very powerful Venn diagrams, illustrations, and probably most importantly, powerful audiences that you can later use in your Google Ads accounts. So firstly, just to get there, at the left, we have our navigational bar like normal. We're going to go to Explore. And when we get to the Explore page, we have our set of templates that GA4 provides us with. We're going to scroll to the right and we're going to use segment overlap. Now, segment overlap is essentially nothing more than a very simple way to create very powerful Venn diagrams. And we can use obviously any segments that will give us some insight and some powerful audiences that will be effective for our store. So the typical or the three templated ones they show us are mobile traffic, tablet traffic, and ages 25 to 54. And just to explain what this little graph shows us, quite simply, is mobile traffic and tablet traffic obviously don't intersect because they're two different types of distinct users. But we can see people between these ages, how many of them happen to be mobile users and how many of them happen to be tablet users. So it gives us immediately quite an easy way to visualize how big an audience is, how it compares to a slightly different audience that we're trying to analyze. So from a visualization perspective, this is a very powerful tool. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to build a segment or a segment overlap or Venn diagram, which is a bit more powerful than the one they give us. So we're going to go into segments on the left, and we're going to build one specifically for an e-commerce store. And we're going to choose the following ones. So let's go to shopping. And we're going to use cart abandoners as one of our segments. So we're going to say how many people have abandoned their cart. We're then going to combine that with an audience as follows of, let's say, how many people are registered users. I think it'll be an interesting one to compare. And we're going to leave mobile traffic in there. Now, because I've built these or because I've selected these on the left in the segments, they're going to sit at the bottom here, and we're going to start deleting the ones that are not relevant to us. So we're going to leave mobile traffic for this illustration. We're going to add cart abandoners, and we're going to add registered users. Right. Now, if I can scroll just to the bottom, because it's a nice example to get in, it might happen a lot to you, particularly on a new GA4 site, is that immediately when I started to build this, I could see straight away the intersection between these two. And now the third circle is obviously missing, and it's missing either because the audience is so small that I can't see it compared to these two, or in this case, I can see registered users is actually showing 0. And that's because the event actually hasn't properly been defined. This is a Google GA4 demo store, so it's a good example to kind of show. But I think when we're building our own reports, we'll see this happen a lot. So let's choose one which actually is present. So let's go back to segments, and we're going to choose, let's find an interesting one that will give us some insight of something interesting. Let's use demographics as one of the targets, and let's go for an older group on our website. So people over 65, save and apply. And we're going to see how many of them use mobile devices, how many of them are above 65, and how many of them are cart abandoners. And we'll see this tiny intersection of 47 users across all our grouping of 37,000 total users. So it's a very small audience. But what we could potentially use this for is we could say, these are people that are on their mobile device. Let's push them as a mobile specific special. These are people that have abandoned their cart. So they had obviously some sort of purchasing intent, but something dissuaded them from making that purchase. And the last thing, we know their age demographic. So we know they're 65 older. So what we're able to do, or what we could do from a creative point of view, we could create a mobile specific special, which is a pensioner special because we know the demographic it's servicing. And we can build this audience, and we can then share this audience to Google Ads. And then we can run some display ads or some discovery ads to actually get this user segment to then convert by sending some very, very targeted messaging. And again, we can go through this on whatever segment level we find relevant, and we see, is it worth building an audience or a campaign around such a small amount of users, 47? It might be relevant depending on what we're selling, or it may not. But this is a great way we can test lots of different age segments, we can test lots of different audiences, and we can see which campaigns are worth building immediately, A, by just visualizing it, and B, by seeing how impactful that would be for our business. I hope this video helps you. I hope it inspires you to come up with some interesting audience and audience segments that you can share to your Google Ads accounts. And I hope, therefore, it makes you significant more money by applying this to your own store. Good luck.